And every time you hit a new milestone, every time you grow and become a little bit bigger, more people know about you, there's another shift and then another learning curve. And then you go, okay, I got this, I'm on top of things. And then things change again. And the more you expand, the more you have to expand. And so that continuous growth, um, yeah, it's been challenging.
Hi, Steph, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Pello. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so happy to have you on the podcast. So, basically, on this podcast, we like to start all the way from the beginning. So, I
Mm,
want you to take us all the way back to what it was like for you growing up, what you were like
wow.
as a child, your primary school and high schooling life.
Oh, wow. Woo, all the way
Mhm.
back.
All the way back.
So I'm Kenyan. So I grew up in Kenya, in Nairobi. And my memories of my childhood are just amazing. They're just filled with so much love and laughter,
Mm.
and like playing with my brothers, or cooking with my mom in the kitchen. And so I had a very happy, fulfilled childhood growing up. Um, and I actually went to school, um, in at the school my grandfather built. So when he
Oh,
grew up,
wow.
he used to walk like really really far to go to school. And so I guess he grew up and he decided that he was going to build his own school, and that's exactly what he did. So my entire primary
Wow.
school, I went to the school that my grandfather founded and built, and it's still there, thriving. And so I guess in a way, as I think about it now, I've grown up around entrepreneurs, people building things from the ground up. And yeah, that was amazing. And I went to an all girls high school, all girls high school. Yep.
Mm.
And that was an interesting time in my life. I learned many things about the kind of person I did not want to become. And it really kind of paved the way for how I wanted my university career to look like, which is, very significant in my journey. And so after high school, I took a gap year. My mom actually allowed me to take a gap year, which wasn't very common at the time. And I didn't even know I needed it until she said, "Why don't you just take
Why
a
do you think
year?"
she asked you to take a gap year or supported you in that?
I think I think my mom is just she's wise, right? And she knows all the things and she has all the right answers for everything. And I think she kind of sensed that I probably needed a bit of time to explore what it is I actually wanted to do. I
Mm.
had these two sides of me, a very creative, artistic side, but also a very analytic side to me. And I kind of needed to find a balance for those. And so she said, I'm going to give you the year, do a couple of courses in different things, and kind of find your footing. And as luck or God's plan would have it, I actually enrolled in a hair and beauty school, not knowing I was going to end up where I am today. Like, I had no idea. For
Mm.
me, this was fun. It was like a hobby. It
Yeah.
wasn't serious. And I was really good at it. It came so naturally to me. But at the same time, I had actually applied for an internship with the United Nations because I always wanted to pursue a career in political science, international relations. And before I could complete the hair and beauty course, I got the internship. And so I had to leave the hair and beauty course because,
Mm.
I mean, who turns down an internship with the United Nations? Like,
Yeah.
who does that? I was 17, 18 years old. So I took the internship. I went off. I completed it successfully and I loved it. It was amazing. And when I was done with that, I knew that I wanted to do political science. That's what I wanted to pursue in university. And the hair and beauty thing kind of fell by the wayside. Like I said,
Mm.
it was always this hobby, this fun thing that just came naturally to me that I could just do. I could excel without putting much effort. Um,
Mm.
but I never ever, not even for 1 second, considered that that would be a plausible career path for me at all. Like it
Wow.
wasn't even on the cards in any way. And so I did my university, I did my master's, um, I finished up my political science, degrees, and then I had always, ever since I was like what 8, 9, or 10, back when Kofi Annan was the Secretary General of the United Nations, I always used to say when I grow up, I want to be the next Secretary General of the United Nations.
Sure.
Even saying it now, I feel a little bit like, oh wow, so naive. But anyway, it was a dream, right? It was a dream. And so I knew that, so I graduated and I knew that I needed to like get this going, get this Secretary General thing happening, right?
Mm, mm,
And so I had this plan that I was going to work for organizations that would lead me to that position. But I was a Kenyan living in South Africa, which means I was a foreign resident, and it was quite difficult to like get
mm.
a job, a a specific job that I wanted to. So I told God, look, I really want this. And there are only two places I want to work. I either want to work for the British Embassy or the American Embassy. Like, that's it. Because in my eyes, that was the way I could see to get me to where I wanted to go.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I applied for these jobs and I got a job at the American Embassy. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. Let's do this. And it was my dream job. Hello, it was everything I ever imagined, everything I ever wanted, everything I ever desired, from
Mm,
the colleagues to the kind of work to the growth to the exposure. Everything was exactly as I had imagined it would be. And I thrived. I thrived. It was
oh, wow.
incredible. It was such an incredible journey. And I got to work on projects that were so close and dear to my heart. I got to use my East African political and cultural expertise um, while there. And that was something that was unique to me.
Mm.
Um, and then I got retrenched. And then they decided that they were going to close. Yes, yes. I
I
got
didn't see that coming. I'm like, oh.
I got retrenched in 2018. It just came to an end. It just ended. That was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, what's next? By then, though, I had been dabbling in making whipped shea butter at home. By that time, I'd had a little girl, and had to learn how to take care of her hair. So all this time, I
Mm,
had dreadlocks in my hair. So and that's like a whole different ball game, right? Of hair care. It's
mm,
not
mm,
like this, open afros. And so I had been whipping these butters and using them at home on a small scale. And again, the same, I approached this with the same attitude I had when I was in the hair and beauty school. Like, this is a hobby. I'm just good at it. I just enjoy it. I'm
mm.
just doing it just as a side hustle. Is it even a side hustle? Like, you know.
Yeah.
So all this time I had been doing that for about 2 years before I was retrenched. And I had started to sell the butter online. But it kind of happened by accident because I wasn't really ready. You know how everyone is always like, I just need the courage to start. I'm just waiting for everything to be perfect. That was me. And
Yeah.
then I had built this, I decided I was going to build my own website and I had used Wix and I was going to build my own. So I did it. And then I hit
What was
publish.
what was the goal when you were building your website? Like, were you trying to start a business at this point?
No, I was just seeing what it's like. Like I
Yeah.
just I actually just wanted a system to be able to sell my products to people where they could order online instead of this word of mouth Facebook thing. Like it
Mm.
wasn't working for me. I just wanted a more formal way. But I wasn't like registering a business and a company with a vision of creating this. Like, no, we're not there yet. We're not there
Oh
yet.
wow. Okay. Okay.
And so I hit publish by mistake on Wix, and it publishes the site. And my
That's
husband was
brilliant.
sitting next to me, and I gasped, and he's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I accidentally hit publish. How do I unpublish it? There's no, like, why is this not user friendly? How can you not undo this?" He's like, "Honey, just leave it. Like, what have you got to lose? You can still edit
Yeah.
it, you know." Like, I guess, but people are gonna see, and then they're gonna say things. And he's like, "Oh, isn't that why you are building a website so people can see?" So that's how, like, I feel like I've jumped a bit, but that's how the website started. I built it myself. It was on Wix and it was published, and that was that. And then people could
Oh wow.
order, and I could, the thing, it could track your sales and stuff for you. Um, so that had been happening in the background. So when I got retrenched, my husband he is such a rock in my life. And he just looked at me and said, "Honey, why don't you take this opportunity and start the business?" I was like, "What do you mean?" So for about 6 months before then, I'd been talking about wanting to create a really amazing hair care system, for Black women, for women with
Mm.
afro-textured hair, like something really classy and elegant and organic, not just people throw around the word organic like it means what it doesn't, like actually certified organic products, which is, it's more difficult, it's more expensive, it's more time consuming, it's just laborious. But I wanted to do this because I wanted to do it right. And I thought, well, I guess there's no better time than the
Yeah.
present to
Yeah.
give it a try. Um, and that's how that idea became like a more serious thing. At that
Mm.
stage, that's when I got to the point of, okay, if this is going to be a real thing, then it's going to be a real business. We're not hair and beauty school anymore. We're not, we're not just playing around. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's how the
Oh
journey
wow.
kind of began.
That's insane. That's insane. Like you were in your perfect job, doing this thing on the side, but in your perfect job. And I feel like life just came at you and shoved you into this world of
Yep.
beauty and wellness. Like
Yep.
basically just shoved you into it and you took it and ran with it. So
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about the name? Where does the name come from?
Um,
Vana Naturals.
So originally we started as Savvy Naturals, and that was because it's my daughter's name. My daughter's name is Savannah, and at home we call her
Mm,
Savvy. And she's the main reason I started whipping butters. Like I was doing it because I needed to find a healthier alternative to take care of her hair. So this was
mm.
always about her. Well, not always, as you've
Yeah.
seen, but it was at this point, the defining moment at that stage in my life was my daughter and taking care of her hair in the best possible way. And I couldn't find the products on the market. I couldn't find them on the
Mm,
shelves at Clicks or Discam. I couldn't find high quality, ethically sourced, carefully considered ingredients in products for people, women of color, and that really bothered me. And so she has always been like the center of how when this became a serious thing. And then I went to register. I wanted to trademark the name, and it wasn't available. And then at work, this job that I loved so much. People obviously knew about the business and they knew about what I was
mm.
going through, and they would brainstorm and throw out names. And one day I was leaving, and one of my colleagues just as I was leaving, I had my bag on my shoulder and my car keys, and I was heading out the door. And she's like, "Steph, have you thought about the name Vanna?" I was like, "Wait, no, I haven't." That is so cool because it still pays homage to the real origin story of Vana
Yes.
Natural, and it's still
Savannah.
unique. Exactly, it's still unique
Yeah.
enough. It stands out. It means everything. It's like a name with such a rich story. And so we became Vanna, and I went home immediately. I checked to make sure it was available. I applied for my trademark. I got my trademark and registered it. And that's how Vana Natural came. came
Oh my
about.
God.
Yeah.
I love carefully thought out names, and even better, like I love your story of how it's such a thoughtful name, but it came to you in this random moment.
Mm.
You leave
Exactly.
in the office, but it's such the perfect name. That is so
Perfect.
that's so beautiful. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. So now I read somewhere that it took like 10 months for you to be certified organic, and you mentioned before that you didn't just want to be organic and just throw around the word loose. You
Mm.
wanted to really be certified as organic.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the process of starting up your business, going through this testing, retesting, formulation, and yeah, that whole journey.
So the journey actually started. Wow, it's amazing how God um, weaves our life, even when we're not paying attention or noticing. So
Mm,
almost now it's about 11 years ago. I met with a woman who is my. We formulate the product. She's an organic cosmetic formulator, but I didn't know that at the time.
mm,
It was a connection my husband had at work at the time at that job. And I was telling him, look, one day maybe we'll do, it would be nice to create products. I wonder what that looks like. I said, oh, so and so, actually, that's what she does. I was like, what? Really? Cool. So he set up a meeting and we met and we chatted about many things, but I wasn't fully present and I couldn't fully understand what she was speaking about because that's not the space I was in at that time. But
mm,
God was planting the seed for who we are today. And so that happened,
mm.
and the conversation ended, and that was that. We didn't chat again until I published on Wix and I decided that I needed to be better at formulating this whipped butter. I was like, oh, hey, remember that conversation I had with so and so 8 years ago? I think maybe I should
Yeah.
phone her up so she can help me formulate this even better, like make it to a better standard. And so I did, and she was available. And she set out time in her calendar for free. And she came to me and sat with me. And this is like an expert in her field, right? And she sat with me and went through the formula with me and
Oh
the
wow.
formulation and how to do it in the best. And she's like, maybe try this, and that. And she gave me so much for expecting nothing in return. And wow, even thinking about it now just makes me feel a bit emotional. But anyway, so that happened on the side. And so when I was ready to grow the line, I knew exactly who to go to. Someone who had been in
Mm,
my life for, 8 to 10 years. And she was like, we can definitely do this. And she asked me, one of the first questions she asked me was, so how do you want to do this? Do you want to be conventional, or are we gonna do this to organic standards? I said, let's go for the organic standards. We're still in the process of getting our certification, but all our products have been made according to the
the
organic
standards.
standards, right?
Mm,
Which is very, very exciting and unique. And I knew that I wanted not only a brand of products that stood out, but actually that were actually good for you. That you didn't have to worry about the products are toxic. You don't have to worry about the ingredients. You can be safe knowing that they are safe for you, for your children. Because remember, my daughter at this time, she's
mm,
even today a very important a part of this story. And I wasn't going to put out something that I wouldn't feel safe and secure using on her. And it had to be the highest quality possible that I could
mm,
afford, the highest quality that I had access to. And
mm,
it, yeah, after that, it was, we settled on, what the ingredients would be, what the products would do. And for like a whole year, it was about 10 to 11 months of testing. Oh no, it's not right. Oh, it doesn't do this. And
yeah.
we went back and forth. I had so many samples. Like, by the end of it, I was just tired. And I remember she called me one day and said, "Look, we are now going back and forth. You need to make a decision." It was that, we all get to this point where, as an entrepreneur, anyone really, when you're about to launch something, you can get caught up in this trap of it's not perfect enough, it's not right enough. Maybe I should. And she's like, "No, enough. This is fine. Launch the thing, see what people say, and take it from there." And I think that was the push I needed, because all our formulations are specific to Vana Naturals. They are unique. You won't find a formulation like this anywhere else. It's not something we bought off the shelf. We actually created them from scratch.
Mm.
And so we did. And then it was out there. And then, yeah, that's how that
And
happened.
now you're in all our cupboards, you're in my bathroom. Like it's amazing. I always say I love talking to women whose products I have in my home. Like it's just brilliant. I love it.
That is so cool. That makes me so happy.
Oh my god. No, it's very listen, I love your product. So what are some of the challenges that you faced in this entrepreneurship journey?
Um, well, there were a number. First of all, it was, I think I'll start from the personal side of it. Just the shift from a career in international relations and political science to now an entrepreneur in clean beauty in a foreign country. Like, just
Mm,
wrapping my head around that transition was hard. It wasn't. I still go through it even now, and um, just I think how we approach things, our mentality towards things, really impacts um, the impact that we have on others and on the world, right? And so I really had to take those thoughts captive and just dig deep and find that grit inside of me, to just keep going. And so that's a challenge I've had, like, you know from a personal perspective. And then,
mm,
of course, the steep learning curve. Like, I don't know, I didn't know how to run a business. I was an employee for the longest time. Like, I just get a
mm,
paycheck, and that's it. I don't have to worry about marketing. I don't have to worry about financing. I don't have to worry about my accounts. I don't have to worry, like, all of those
yeah.
things. Wow, that learning curve is steep. And every time you hit a new milestone, every time you grow and become a little bit bigger, more people know about you, there's another shift. And then another
Yeah.
learning curve. And then you're, okay, I got this. I'm on top of things. And then things change again. And the more you expand, the more you have to expand. And so that continuous growth, um,
Mm,
yeah, it's been challenging. And then people also don't talk about the stack of unpaid invoices that you always have to juggle. Every time someone gives a negative review that's not
mm.
just critiquing the product in a healthy way, but
Constructive.
in a constructive way, exactly,
Yes.
but doing it in a very unkind, and that takes a toll. This is not, I didn't just wake up one day and decide to sell something that I bought from some shelf somewhere. This is like
Mm,
years and years of hard work and of passion and of my life. And
mm.
that kind of feedback, it hurts. And having to overcome that, I've become better at it. I've become better at overcoming, and realizing that it's not gonna be for everyone, but it's for a lot of people, and that's what matters. And to
Yeah.
just keep going. Um, yeah, I think those are a couple. And also, wow, the copycats. Oh my gosh, people just want to what? Like, I can't tell you the number of DMs or emails I receive on a well, maybe not daily, but very regularly. Oh,
Yeah.
hey sis, I really love your brand. Where did you get your jars from? Oh, hey sis, I really love this. Where I'm like, but why do you want to copy and be like me? go do your own thing. I mean, Google is a tool we all have access to. Please use it. And like, yeah. Anyway, those are some some of the
No,
challenges.
I feel you. I feel like even I've had experiences where I'm like, you can you can if I could do the work, you can do the work. It's hard and
Absolutely.
I understand, but and we can learn from each other, but you can also do the work. Yeah, there's like
Hmm.
that bit of a line that tends to get blurry sometimes. No,
Yeah.
it makes sense. And what have been some of the highlights of your journey?
Um. Wow, this has been an incredible ride. So the collaboration we did last year with the Natural Hair Co. So they're a company that curates wash day boxes, and so when they reached out to us last year in August, I was like, oh my gosh, they see us, they know who we are. Oh, this is so exciting. Let's do it. And wow, the response was amazing. It was beyond anything I had dreamed or imagined.
Yeah.
And we sold out in an hour. And I remember thinking, how is this even happening? Like, I honestly could not believe it. I couldn't. Um, and then later, as I was processing it, I was like, you know what? You, I've done my best. I always try to show up as excellently as I can in everything I
Mm,
do. And these are really great products and people love them. So I should just be proud. I should soak it in,
yeah.
enjoy the moment, and keep going. And then
And
again,
now and now you've collaborated again. I mean, I'm not sure when this podcast is gonna air, but it's they're currently selling your on like your new range.
yes, and
Yeah.
again, like the first boxes, because we had to, wow. So the first, the first box had our everything butter, and then it sold out, and we
It's
didn't have.
your everything better. I need to comment on this. It's always sold out.
It is. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I am very sorry. I think I underestimate how amazing of a product it is. And it's a signature product, right?
Yeah.
And but we're working on it. We are transitioning to manufacturing even greater quantities because I can't
Mm.
explain it. We'll restock and in like a day it's gone. The, remove so many tubs of this butter. It's actually ridiculous. But anyway, that'll change. That'll change. I'm in a position now to to increase the amounts that we manufacture. So from
Mm.
September, hopefully there will be no more stock out because I have a plan and we're going to implement, and everybody
Yay.
can have as much as they want. um, and so yeah, so the first box in August had the butter, and then it sold out, and so we had to replace that with the leave-in, which is equally as good. And I know like right now there's very few, if they're not already all gone. There are very few boxes left, which is real. So
Mm.
that's been an incredible highlight in our journey. And then of course launching the new multi-purpose collection, like I always, even last year when we launched the first collection, I was like, yeah, one day we'll launch the next one, and I started to work on it and I had an idea, and then we got the products and they were ready, and then the support for the brand has been so amazing that I can actually afford to financially launch another collection, um, without owing anybody money, um, and that is a very pinch myself moment. And the products are beautiful and they're amazing. And they really speak to who I am also. Like those who know me would hear about what the collection is and they're like, that is so stiff. Because I believe
Yeah.
in products that they can be multi-purpose. You don't have to buy one thing for, every single thing. Anyway, so that has been a highlight. And then earlier this year, we launched in stores at Faithful to Nature. That was such a big deal for me. So when they launched their flagship store at the V&A Waterfront in Cape Town, um, they stock our products there, you can actually walk into the VNA waterfall in Cape Town and go to the Faithful to Nature store and shop Vana Naturals products on the shelves. Um, uh, this is a partnership that is so on brand on so many levels,
Mm.
and it just matches who we are completely. It's such a perfect fit, and I can't wait, to grow our retail presence even more. But this was
Mm.
such a perfect first start. Like, I couldn't have written this script any better.
Ah man, that's incredible. That's incredible. I'm so happy for you too.
Mm.
Tell me, Steph, what's some of the worst career advice that you've ever received?
Whew, that's a good question. Um, Pello, I've never actually gotten bad career advice. Everyone in my life that I've always sought advice from has always pushed me in the direction of pursuing my dreams and remaining true to myself. Um,
Mm,
I'm just thinking back on those conversations, but I think that also has to do with knowing who to approach in your life for certain things. Like, you
mm,
don't just go to every Tom, Dick, and Harry and pour your heart and tell them. Well, yeah, you have to be very
yeah.
intentional and careful with who you let into those safe spaces of your life. And it has to be people who know you, who are rooting for you, who want the best for you, and who will be honest with you. And I think because I've learned how to sift through those relationships, I've always sought advice from people who I know will be truthful, will be honest, and who will push me, when I needed that push.
Mm,
So, no, I don't
yeah.
think I've ever received any bad career advice.
I mean, you make a good point though, because you're right. You're absolutely right. We shouldn't just be putting ourselves out there and receiving critique or advice or guidance from literally anyone, right?
Mm,
That's unhealthy to an
yeah,
extent, because not everybody has your best interest at heart. And I, I love that what you said in the beginning. You said they know you well enough to know what you want
yeah,
out of like whatever you're pursuing, so then they can advise you accordingly, instead of just going to someone who doesn't even know your background, doesn't even know your story, doesn't even know your what you want in
mm,
life, and now they start advising you. Because I've found myself in that position where I'm like, where people start to advise you, and I'm like, but you don't even know if I want that.
mm,
You don't even know what my goal is with XYZ. So
mm,
I love that you're mentioning the importance of curating your circle,
mm,
your circle of people that you go to for guidance. Yeah, it's very
yeah.
important. And what would you say are some of the misconceptions about what you do?
Whew, that it's easy. Oh, that
Yeah.
it's an overnight success. I remember someone actually made that comment when I was alive once. Like, they asked the question, "Oh, how do you feel about this? It's like such an overnight success. You must be so excited." I was like, in my heart, I had so many things to say to this person. But yeah, no, it's not an overnight success. I've been dreaming this dream without knowing I was dreaming it since hair and beauty school, like, I don't know,
Yes.
17 years ago. So no, there's nothing overnight about this. Um,
Yeah.
and also assuming that it's 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 just like any other brand or any other hair product. I think consumers are very spoiled for choice, right? And social media has made it such that anybody with a platform, with anybody who can hear their thoughts, can just say whatever they want to say.
Mm.
And it's you really need to do your research when you're buying anything, when you're consuming anything. It's your responsibility. Um, and you can't just assume that it's all the same without giving it a try. Um, and yeah, that's just not cool. It's not cool at all. And then
Mm.
also for me, it's this constant battle of challenging. what people perceive organic to mean, organic or 100% natural, and other brands using those words when that's not actually what they are. It just makes
Yeah.
it so much more difficult for those of us who are actually, complying and um, trying to create these healthier alternatives. Um, it
Yeah.
just makes it a
So
bit more challenging.
what is the definition of organic, specifically also with regards to what Vana Naturals is trying to do? How would you define it?
So for me, I would define it all the way from how the ingredients that we use are grown. Um, are
Mm,
they exposed to what kind of pesticides, if any, are they exposed to? As an example, I'm really like trying to
mm,
make this simple. So it's that whole journey of the ingredient from its seed, to how it's harvested, to how it's processed, to how it's combined in a formulation to make the products that you have in your bathroom right now. So that
mm,
entire process has to be um, certified. It has to be uh, monitored and watched. And so we only use ingredients that have gone through that process with the various bodies that certify our products. Our manufacturer is also a certified organic manufacturer. So they don't just, the way they formulate their products is according to a specific way of doing it. Um, and so that's what it means for Vana Naturals. And I think my vision has always been that whoever is using our products is rest assured that our products are not toxic and that they are safe, not only externally, topically, but internally as well. I mean, we're coming off of a history where we would use chemical relaxers in our hair. I have nothing against it. I mean, you wear your hair the way you want to. But, there's been evidence and studies showing that those chemical relaxers affect our hormones and cause all sorts of health issues. And that is something that I experienced because I had relaxed my hair in high school. It was like 3 or 4 years. And I developed fibroids in my adulthood. And I've had to have like three three surgeries to deal with it,
mm.
and I'm on the other side of it now, thankfully.
Oh,
And I have 2 children, and but I know that exposing my hair, my scalp, my body to those things had a part to play. And so for
mm,
me, it's really personal, how the way we create our products and what we use in them, to make sure that they don't have this kind of negative effect on anybody who uses them. Like I can't
mm,
imagine exposing my daughter to harmful things. It's difficult for me. And so that's why I decided to take the more difficult path of creating effective organic hair care products that are high
mm.
quality, that look beautiful, that are beautiful, that do amazing things for our hair, because nobody else is actually doing it.
Mm.
Mm, yeah, which is
That
sad.
just gave me a new appreciation for your brand. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Okay,
deep.
so yeah. We are at my favorite part of the podcast,
Mhm,
where I get to ask you my favorite question, which comes from my favorite quote. My favorite quote is, "Be who you needed when you were younger." And
mhm,
I love that you just explained what something that you went through when you were younger that contributed to adulthood, and now you're trying to do something to remedy that for the next person, because that's really what that quote means to me. As much as we can never go back in time and change how things turn out, there might be someone out there today who's listening and watching and may need to hear something that you would have needed to hear back then.
mhm,
So Tell me, Steph, if you could go back in time and talk to younger Steph at any age, what would you say to her?
I would say be brave and be courageous. And even if it's scary, do it anyway.
Mm,
Um, and don't let other people get you down. Your vision is valid, your dreams are valid, and you can be anything and do anything you want. Um, just give it your best. That's what I would say to her.
mm. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. Tell us, how can our listeners or viewers get in touch with maybe following your journey or just follow the Vana Naturals journey? And obviously, where can they buy as well?
So all our products are available on our website www.vananaturals.co.za. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at Vana Naturals, and you will also find our products at Faithful to Nature stores in South Africa and on their website as well. Yeah, that's where
And
you can
Beauty on
find us.
Tap,
And Beauty on Tap and
that's
Natural
awesome.
Hair Co.
Natural haircut.
Natural Hair Co. Um, and so, yes, you can find our products there. Follow us on Instagram. It's a vibe over there. We have so much fun. Yeah, that's where you can
And you
find us.
do a lot of teaching on your Instagram as well. I love that you teach. You not only are just selling product, you're teaching about how you use the product, or just I feel like it's not even product specific. It's just about how to take care of your hair in
Yeah.
general. Yeah.
That's actually interesting that you noticed that, because for me, it was really, I quickly realized that there's a lot of information out there sorry for going off topic. There's a lot of
No.
hair care information out there, but I also have the way I do it and how our products work. And I'm the best person to teach because I'm the one who is telling you about them. And so I've had
Mm.
to learn how to strike a balance between being an entrepreneur, business owner, and also being a content creator, influencer vibes. Like that has also been that has also been quite interesting and very stretching for me. And so I'm glad that you appreciate and that you've seen that it's super encouraging. So yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so, so much.
Thank